Definitely not, Alicia. I think it's clear from particularly the text messages. You might remember many months back with the indictments, it sort of showed the coordination that was there. Separately, there's video, there are documentary evidence of Enrico Tarrio with Roger Stone and both the leader of the Oath Keepers at one point, Stuart Rhodes. So I think when you look at this, those were the two principal groups, the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys. But what I would note is that the Proud Boys are quite a bit different in terms of how they organize, how they facilitate what they're doing. The Oath Keepers, much more like a militia, a militant organization. This group kind of came together through several protests in November and December. It was specifically around the Stop the Steal movement. So when I think you look at both of these cases, the giveaway for prosecutors is the communications between all of them in terms of what they were trying to do, where they were stationing themselves, and what their intent was. And I think that's where it comes together with this insurrection plot. That's why you see the Proud Boys. That's why you see the Oath Keepers being handled very differently from others that were there on January 6th.
One of the things that I found interesting, you have Vice reporting that the defense plans to call several FBI informants who marched with the Proud Boys as their witnesses. Can you sort of talk us through how the FBI uses informants in extremist groups like theirs, and then what their involvement in a trial like this can look like?
Yeah, what's interesting is the FBI obviously was working on different organizations, or probably more likely specific individuals. Remember, there is no domestic terrorist organization designation in the United States. So they're probably trying to watch people that they thought had either said they were going to commit violence, had committed violence somewhere else. They were trying to build cases. Hence why you would have some sort of an informant that you were communicating with. When I looked at those communications with the FBI that have sort of come out that, yes, there were informants there, that seemed to be very late in the game, meaning, maybe 1 week out, 1 to 2 days out. The informants who've already got a relationship with the FBI reaching back to their handlers. So what I think we're seeing is really individuals who are probably being, placed inside different groups, but they're probably focused on existing cases, meaning they were not around January 6th per se. Just coincidentally, they were involved in others. And that is not unusual, I'd say, Alicia, whether it's international terrorism, domestic extremism, or even criminal cases. Informants, once they encounter other things, tend to report in. And January 6th is one of those things that they absolutely would be calling back to their handlers about.